Because of course the teachers couldn't check what film they were showing us. The bus conductor simply put the tape in offhandedly. But I remember the awkward moment when there was this nude shower scene and we were all just Alright, you guys, check this out. We're just gonna check out some memes for tonight. So I'll just take it easy, okay?
These are the most popular outdoor toys ever made. I must
Wait, what was that?
have missed the
Here's the thing. I know this whole thing is popular, but I never did this as a kid. I don't even remember seeing, anyone draw this as a kid back in the 90s. Or in the early 2Ks.
meeting when Step 5 happened. This is the baby shark of the 2000s, kids.
No, that's
I
one-
can hear this picture. One burned you alive, and the other one electrocuted you with static. How strict were your parents? My parents could speak to me with their eyes.
Mine
Only
too.
real ones remember. One was always
I still have this speaker. It's still working. And you know what? I actually prefer this type of speaker. So I can insert my headset thingy in it.
not working. THX, the loudest noise of your childhood, scared the hell out of me every time. The original auto-tune. So,
Yes, it was.
did anyone else go through a phase as a kid where you were genuinely concerned about the Bermuda Triangle? 6-year-old
I've known
me
about the
was
Bermuda
like, "Bro,
Triangle."
why are we not solving this problem?
But I've known about it, and I guess at a certain level I was concerned about it, that we were going to travel there one day. Just like quicksand.
I can both hear this image and feel it hitting me in the face. And
I don't know what this is. Is this a dodgeball?
anyone else smell it? Thinking it was illegal to turn this light on while your mum was driving. I will never get over the fact that this was the first YouTube app icon. Only
Oh.
OGs used to
I did have these things.
have these on their ceilings
But I have shooting stars and, planets and stuff. Apart from the stars.
in their room. The flavor of the wooden spoon haunts me to this day.
It still
7-year-old
does.
me, when the computer wasn't even turned on, overthinking.
There was a time,
The OGs
Hold
used to
on.
have these on their ceilings in their room. The flavor of the wooden spoon haunts me to this day. 7-year-old me
there was a time where you could play multiplayer sports game. Two guys can play on the same keyboard.
when the computer
I
wasn't
remember playing with my brother on this keyboard.
even turned on. Overthinking during childhood. What do you remember the most from your childhood? Hey, did you ask yet? Me.
Ask
no,
what?
my mum's
Nope,
in a bad
mom's
mood.
in a bad
me and
mood.
my
If we could go
childhood
out.
for no reason. If you don't got one of these on your legs, you are soft.
Ah. I have him on. Wait, hold on. Yes, I have him on both. I have I have them on both.
7-year-old me, half asleep in the back of my parents' car. Me, mapping every turn in my head to see if I knew where I was. How are kids these days vaping? When I was a kid, I was trying to figure out how they got cars into malls. Why was there always a bite taken out of these? Because they were so good.
Yes, they
9-year-old
were.
me, watching television with my parents, not moving a muscle, so they don't know it's past my bedtime.
bedtime.
This ball played a big role in
I remember that, not to draw attention to myself, so my parents would let me stay up.
almost everyone's childhood. This is the ball every
This is a
kid played
jawbreaker.
with
Oh,
in
yeah.
a store, but actually never bought or took it.
I think I had a ball like this. It was quite cheap, and it was fun to kick around against the wall.
Home. This picture just got stuck to the roof of my mouth.
This one I
Who
remember.
remembers these? These won't erase anything.
Yeah, they wouldn't. Apparently they're like the cheapest erasers you can find. They be provided as freebies, and you'd about lose them in a couple of days. Here's the thing, right? These erasers, after class, you'd either lose them or they would stay with you until the end of the year, until it's time to get some new stuff, and then you'd forget about them. You'd throw them in the trash.
And they taste horrible.
Yes,
What
they
was
did.
your favorite struggle
Which one was my favorite struggle meal growing up? Probably the last one on the right.
meal growing up? You ever had sleep for dinner?
Yeah. I'm thankful that we didn't have to experience sleep for dinner.
Total Wipeout was a legendary show, hands
It was,
down.
I think,
Bro,
the early
I used to
2Ks.
think I could finesse all the obstacle courses. You don't know concentration until you have to take this thing from the sink to the
We
freezer.
still do.
Before Snapchat and Instagram was around. This is where you showed off your outfit. Never forget where you came from.
This is the version of the water cooler talk for kids.
These lollies used to cut tongues viciously.
Yes, they did. I think a piece of my tongue still missing because of this.
Obviously, another childhood pleasure, which has no
Monoblock chairs.
explanation.
Still have one
Me in my
downstairs.
childhood, without any reason. I am now convinced that most of us have the same childhood. Throwback
Yep.
Thursday. Where is computer number 9? We are not leaving until it's back in the cart. Elementary kids have iPhones, but this is what I did in
Some kids, I remember back in the early 2Ks, this was the thing, right? We all did this thing with our thumbprints. But some kids, when they got clearance to actually hold a cutter, they would start literally writing their names down. They would start cutting their names down on the back of their hand. Don't know why they did that. I guess we were all bored. Remember, no cell phones, no internet yet.
elementary. Not a cell phone inside, just people living in the moment. Remember in the early 2000s when
I had a classmate who was really rich. It was literally in the middle of their living room. I thought it was free candy and I popped one into my mouth and I bit into it and like, holy hell. Alright. Thank God I didn't bite into it that hard because when I put it in my mouth, the lack of flavor sort of warned me that this isn't food.
your aunt would have a random bowl filled with blue glass pebbles sitting in a windowsill. Anyone
Yeah. For us, it was a rich person thing. Why would
else
they have
remember
that?
when kids in school used to do this? Wait for it to dry, then eat it. You had me all the
We
way
didn't
up
do that.
until you said eat it. Kids who played with their DSs like this are all now in prison. VeggieTales
Nope. No DSs. No DSs here.
characters as vegetables. I found this image in the deepest crevices
Must be an early 2K kids thing because I don't remember this one.
of my memories. What is this, and why do I remember it? They banned push pops in school because people were sucking them into pointy
Push pops, I do remember, but I don't remember anyone turning them into a weapon like this.
weapons. Who else remembers the temporary buildings at school that were up for decades? Today's kids will never know how big of a deal it was to go to the
Here's the thing, right? In the late 90s, most of us kids here, we have no idea what the internet was, right? I know the whole AOL thing is already big in the US, but outside the US, it wasn't a thing yet. So one day, I think it was in the 5th grade or the 6th grade, I can't remember. So one day, right? In our curriculum, I think it was we entered 5th grade, and there was in our curriculum, it was placed in as internet time. So we looked around at each other, dude, what's internet time? Don't know. Because back then, the closest we got to computers was the only thing they taught us about computers were was the Microsoft Office, and then what was that? Flash animation. That was it. That was all they taught us. How to use the Microsoft Office and Flash animation. That was the extent of our computer literacy. We didn't know what the internet was. We didn't know it was a thing yet in the US. No, the whole AOL connection thing, it didn't reach us yet. All right, there was nothing like it here yet. So, anyways, it showed up in our curriculum that we're supposed to get internet time for like an hour a day. So, what's this internet time? So, we were all asking, what's this internet time? And the thing is, our teachers, who were, mostly composed of early IT guys, they didn't know it either. During their time that they were studying IT in college, they didn't have internet yet. So, they couldn't explain it to us. Like, they literally placed us in front of the PC. All right, go do internet. What's internet? Are we getting graded? No, it's just that part of your tuition is that you get access to the internet for like an hour every week. And we didn't know what it was. And the guys who were supposed to watch over us, the IT guys, couldn't care less. So basically we just signed up, or we signed our names in the attendance sheet and then did our stuff. We walked away. None of us actually took advantage because they couldn't teach us, or they didn't know. They didn't know how to teach us what the internet was, and we didn't know what the internet was. We thought it was just a thing. As we went on, that was grade school, and then we went into high school. That's when the LAN games came in. That's when Half-Life, that's when Counter-Strike came in. Even though we had those things, we still couldn't comprehend what the internet was. And I remember there was Ragnarok, our first online game in the early it was now the early 2Ks. We simply couldn't comprehend as to what the internet was. We only thought it gave us access to games, but beyond that, no one actually taught us anything. It wasn't until the end of high school, I think, that I managed to basically get my first email address. And I remember it was for like a college application. So I didn't go through the. I know some guys, some younger guys, they went through the phase of cringe email. But I knew for a fact that it was an address of sorts. I knew it was important because it was for a college application. So I didn't go through that cringe phase, early email address cringe phase. I didn't. I had to use my name because it was for an application, and I knew for a fact that Dragon Ball Z Lord 69 simply wasn't going to work. But I did encounter a guy uh, who went with his college application like Digimon World. That was his official email address, Digimon World something something at Hotmail. Anyways, how big of a deal it was a computer. We didn't understand what it was to go to the internet lab. Right? All we knew is that we were plopped. They taught us the Microsoft Office. They taught us, they taught us Flash animation and other stuff. Beyond that, nothing else.
Computer lab. This mustache obsession was so cringy. This was undoubtedly the weirdest part of the 2012
Oh yeah,
hipster
I remember
trends
this one.
your millennium babies wouldn't understand. This was Netflix before
All of them, if not most, no, most if not all, were burned and pirated.
Netflix. Only the real ones had the bootleg DVDs with
With
the
a
Sharpie,
Sharpie
label.
label.
I'm this old. Damn, y'all
I don't remember this one.
are going deep into the vault for this one, when things used to be so simple.
Yeah, I remember this triangular stuff. The juice box.
Sometimes I wonder if we all actually had the same childhood. 7-year-old me disassembling and reassembling my pen. Did anyone else's parents make them go to sleep early 2 weeks before school started to prepare?
I guess. I remember when the first animated Eon Flux came out. It was like at 10 p.m. at night. I didn't have the concept of or understand the concept of adult animation yet. All I knew is that if it looks like that, it's cartoons. And the first thing that I've seen was, Eon Flux. The way she was dressed sort of made me feel different, feel weird. So I did my best to actually stay up late until 10 in the evening just to be able to watch it. But I never could.
Who remembers? Crack the Egg was all fun and
Never
games
had one.
until you got hit with a double bounce and went flying off the trampoline. Absolutely no one. 6-year-old us. 8 full grocery bags.
Right.
10-year-old me. The wee me's were the original Bitmojis.
Oh.
Black dude in the orange
Don't have
shirt
a wee.
will beat you the hell up in boxing too. Who you got? I really would prefer not to see this kind of violence. When the raindrop you pick
I don't know
up
what that was, but it looks familiar.
the window doesn't win the race. I'm this old. This is why we can spot our
I don't know what this is.
significant other from a mile away. OMG, y'all remember this. All schools were not created equally.
Oh yeah, definitely schools were not created equally.
Because what is this? Me, when thousands of memes flash before my eyes before I die, instead of cherished memories of loved ones and my childhood. No
It wouldn't have been a bad way to as a last memory though.
one. 10-year-old me looking at the camera in the
We still didn't have cameras or CCTVs back then.
supermarket. I used to hate dropping these
In
things
class?
in class, and they
Oh.
bounced across the whole
Were they like
country.
the
Who
crayon thingies? I remember them, but they weren't that popular.
remembers these? We all used to
We still have these things.
bite into these like they were actual burgers. Blow my mind. Curious George only liked him because he looks like a banana.
Curious George was way after my time. Oh, RCA cables.
Retweet if you remember using these as a kid.
Adults in the house used to call me just to be able to put them inside, or just to basically be able to set up the TV properly.
I really thought I deserved a degree in mechanical engineering after plugging these in.
Exactly,
A little
right?
brother came home from the dollar store and threw one of these at me. I just went so far back into memory lane, I got lost.
I don't know what these are.
Resting your head on the cold window just hit different. What were these for? Why are they
Yeah, these things look familiar, but I just don't remember what they are.
so familiar? What's the dumbest thing you ever did as a kid?
Did a
My
lot of dumb
shining
shit as a
moment
kid.
was when I was like 4. I put floaties on my feet and jumped
Oh.
into a pool, thinking I would walk on water. I almost drowned. $10 as a kid versus $100.
Alright, you know what? That wasn't me being dumb.
as an adult. Before cell phones and social media, this is how we all figured out where the squad was at.
It depends. Because not everyone had bikes. You'd find them by their slippers outside the house.
Me in my childhood, without any reason.
This one I actually remember, but I never did this because I didn't see the point.
Those of you that had your first panic attack in one of these bad boys.
This is a Chinese finger trap. But this was never popular from where I'm from. I mean, we've never seen this as a kid.
Know what's up? Childhood days. Is it downloading? Checks with finger. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. That's how we measure back then.
Mom, I got your nose. 2-year-old me. 6-year-old me, waiting for my mom to choose what I'm going to wear after taking a bath. Me as a kid, when I
We had uniforms, so it wasn't a problem on a day-to-day basis.
fix my toy car. Mechanic. Sure, death is scary, but remember Frank from Cars.
I don't remember this guy.
Me, fake sleeping in the car as a kid,
Nemo.
so I can get carried inside. Having a kid
That I
sounds
actually did.
stressful.
Did you guys know there must have been a time where your mom or your dad picked you up and that was the last time they did? That's depressing, doesn't it?
Like, how do you make sure they have just enough childhood trauma that they will turn out
Not
funny?
funny.
10-year-old me, sitting at the top of the stairs, listening to my parents talk smack about me, demon about to kill me as
Oh no, that one definitely caused trauma.
an 8-year-old. A blanket. 10-year-old me, getting ready to open the door. My mom's not home. This was probably the most irrational childhood fear that I
I didn't have this one for the simple reason we could look at the bottom of the pool. And I loved swimming as a kid.
had. What's the dumbest beliefs you had as a child? When I was 4 or 5, I swore that bird seeds grew birds, thus the name. And my parents asked me to prove it to them. I planted a pile of bird seeds. The next day, there were loads of birds where I planted the seeds, showing I was right. Who knows what this is? A teacher
A teacher over and over. They don't have, wait. No. Some brand new cars still have these things. Some cars still have these things, especially here in Asia.
moment for an overly curious child in a car alone, someone lighting a cigarette. Me. Why do you love pizza so much? My television as a kid.
Yeah, it's like pizza was the entire thing, but now as an adult, I think pizza's overrated. Yeah, I mean, with the dripping cheese and everything, to a kid, it must have looked like heaven. But as an adult, I think pizza's overrated. Alright, there it is.
As a kid, I found this in the depths of your memories. One
Don't
time,
remember that
when I
one.
was like 11, my dad took me to an Italian restaurant, and the waiter asked what my name was, and I said, Sam, but you can call me Captain Ravioli. And my dad just looked at me and said, what the fuck was that? Don't do that. And I've been chasing that high ever since. If you don't feel old yet, here's your
Aw.
childhood behind a glass in a museum. Nobody, 5-year-old me
Definitely.
in a mall. I can only step on white tiles, or I will die. An accurate representation of going from childhood to adulthood.
Yes,
If
it
you
is.
don't know this problem, I feel sorry for your childhood. Sharpening a pencil at the bin was the childhood equivalent of taking a cigarette break. Bro,
Yep.
I had to be the dumbest
Water
preschooler
cooler.
out there. Threw that thing in a scroll. I didn't even realize I spent my childhood playing with the virus. I was
Coronavirus.
banned from taking baths when I was younger because I would use up all the bubble bath. And when confronted in the tub, I would retreat into the bubbles and tell them to schedule an audience if they wanted to meet the king of the Bubble Kingdom. This was a personal story I shared in confidence. All of you will be tried for death. I have no tolerance for treason in the Bubble Kingdom. Getting hit in the face by this ball.
I remember how it tasted like, which I couldn't understand. There's a mix of pavement. It was always wet for some reason. I still remember it. I still remember how it feels. And for some reason, it feels itchy. I guess it was a psychosomatic thing. You get hit in the face, especially around the mouth, and you had to spit. You had to spit out stuff, feeling because you think that some of its internal water got inside your mouth.
When it was wet was mad. Felt like you got slapped by Wolverine. In 6th grade, I had a really big crush on this boy who had a girlfriend. So one day, on AIM, I messaged him a link
See,
to the
no
music
AIM,
video, You Belong With
no
Me by
AOL.
Taylor Swift. Joe, if you're reading this, that was weird. My bad. How old were you when you realized recess in elementary school was the teacher's mandatory breaks, not for the students? Today years old. Think
I remember.
when you realized recess
Right, I remember. In my school, we didn't have a playground right? It was our school was always almost always under constant renovation. We didn't have a playground. It was just basically a quadrangle. It was basically just an empty space. And what they would do during lunchtime is they would dump us into this empty space. Like, now what? I don't know, let's go play tag or let's go play hide and seek or something. I don't remember ever having um a playground in that school. They would just basically just drop us in the middle of the school, empty space. All right, go entertain yourselves. And there'd be like one or two teachers just to watch over, so to make sure that if someone gets ganked, they could call an ambulance or something.
In elementary school was the teacher's mandatory breaks, not for the students. Today years old, things that will hit you right in the childhood.
This one I remember. Who has a crush on you? But this one was more of a girl thing, if I remember correctly, and it got popular. I think somewhere late in grade school.
Finding out your future. Y'all ever used to go
or
to your
finding
parents'
out
room
who has a crush on you or who's going to be your future spouse. And it's almost always the same 4 girls or same 4 guys.
night to ask to go to a friend's house and just sat there on their bed for a while, pretending like you were interested in what they were watching, but really, you were just trying to build up the courage to ask. You did not have a childhood if you didn't put one of these bad boys under your legs in the pool.
This one I remember, but it was for the kids that got swimming lessons. I didn't get swimming lessons because my dad made sure I knew how to swim. So these were for the guys that got swimming lessons.
And pretended you were surfing, and then it shoots out of the water like a torpedo and gives you a Mike Tyson uppercut from hell. I just told a story at work about my childhood that I thought was really funny, and now everyone is super quiet, and someone said, "I'm so sorry."
Apparently some of us went through some shit in our childhood. And for some people, that was just plain old trauma.
Now everyone is super quiet, and someone said, "I'm so sorry. Your kid does this to your whip. What are you doing?" There comes a time in every child's life when they remember a whooping. This will be the one. Who else remembers? You just took me way back with this one here.
I don't remember this one.
When this was your only problem? Who else remembers doing this as a kid? I am a sword master. Damn. After I got a whooping, I would be laying down on the floor playing with this thing with tears running down my face. We really all lived the same childhood in different houses. 90s kinda sucked. Imagine being stuck in the house with no internet.
Exactly.
Yuck. They had to put.
Here's the thing. So many people I think it is the same reason why Star Wars or people still will defend Star Wars to the death. It was a matter of nostalgia, right? But I don't think because the product was good or the film or the series was good. I simply think that people still remember these things or still pine for these things because of nostalgia. Right? Star Wars was for boomers and for Gen Xers, whereas the 90s were for millennials. So I know a lot of millennials still pine, oh, the 90s was better, the 90s was good, and the internet. No. A lot of us were bored in the 90s, and a lot of us, I'm pretty sure almost all of us, has permanent scarring from the 90s. And the only reason we pine for it, because we were young, we were kids, we didn't have any problems, or we weren't facing any real problems. We were all just trying to chill, and our biggest problem was that, and this was our, wait, where was that? And the ball falling under the car was our biggest problem. That was it. It's nostalgia. Not that it was good, but we were simply nostalgic for a simpler time that we weren't paying bills.
It's a commercial on the television that said, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are?" For our parents to remember.
I think this was more of an 80s thing.
Remember we existed. We were not stuck in the house. Just checking in. You and I used to have some wild Friday nights back in the day. The quality of this was so bad, but it really made you feel like an artist.
We considered everyone who has this full kit as a rich kid. Yep. Oh my god, your family must be so rich if you had one of these as a kid.
I can feel the dryness of those markers in my bones. Getting out of your car in the 90s was like, without...
Yep. Wait.
Like bones. Wait. Getting out of your...
Yep, my dad definitely did this, but I wonder how come we don't do this anymore for some reason. I guess it's because anti-theft is better nowadays. My question is why we stopped doing this. But we know for a fact that the sun could fry up our electronics inside a car.
Your car in the 90s was
everything's
like,
Bluetooth now, so we don't need... Wait, hold on.
so bad, but it really made you feel like an artist. I can feel the dryness of those markers in my bones. Getting out of your
Alright, roll up the windows, and we don't need to do this anymore because stereo companies, I think I remember we had a Pioneer brand once. They would do this so people wouldn't steal your car stereos. But now that everything's on Bluetooth, we don't need this anymore.
car.
I remember spending a certain amount of cash just so I could have an aux cable go through my stereo. Yeah.
In the 90s was like, without revealing your age, what's something you remember that if you told a younger person, they would not understand? Birthday parties at McDonald's.
It was a thing. Alright, it was a thing. Chuck E. Cheese's. That's how Five Nights at Freddy's began.
Crazy how kids today will never know how fun it was to go outside every single day with your friends and just sit here. One day, we all sat on this for the last time together,
Aww.
and none of us
We all sat in the curb.
ever knew it. Mum, come outside. I got groceries. Me. I did not get this joke as a kid. No. This is how we turned on our computers in the
Yes, we did.
2000s. Grandmas be acting like
Hold on. Wait. Oh, okay, they were going to put on her boobs.
oh, this is how we turned on
See, this is what I was talking about. Our IT people we're still trying to figure it out. So everyone's CPUs were on the floor, which was a bad thing because CPUs are dust bunnies or well-known dust collectors. And for some reason, we all placed it on the floor. No one warned us.
our computers in the 2000s. Grandmas be acting like drug dealers every time she wants to give us some money. When
Because she knows for a fact our grandmamas knew. Hold on.
lights off and money. When you turn
Hold on.
me. I did not get this joke as a kid. No. This is how we turned on
Hold
our
up, hold up.
computers in the 2000s. Grandmas be acting
Because our grandmas knew that our parents would take it away.
like drug dealers every time she wants to give us some money. When you turn the basement lights off and run upstairs before death consumes you. 6-year-old me trying to force two magnets even though they aren't going to stick together.
Get some
Admit
small
it,
ones
we've
and you
all
probably
done this
would.
while eating mac and cheese. Did anyone else ever pour soda into the cap and drink it like
think
it was
we
a
all
shot?
did.
Every monstrosity and horror I could think of. My bed. 6-year-old me.
Aw.
Postcard from child from camp. Not dead yet. 8-year-old's haircuts now versus my haircut when I was 8. Me, suddenly gaining self-consciousness at my 4th consciousness
Hold up.
from camp. Not dead yet. 8-year-old's
We all had this bowl haircut because my mom, or most of our moms thought, they're still kids. What do they need to be attractive for? They're all cute in our eyes. So our mom, or if not our dads, gave us this haircut just to keep hair from our eyes.
haircuts now versus my haircut when I was 8. Me, suddenly gaining self-consciousness at
My 4th birthday party. I have flashes of when I gained consciousness.
my 4th birthday party. Childhood secret weapon. 5
Yeah, a lot of pens.
6-year-old me. Postcard from child from camp. Not dead yet.
Not dead.
8-year-old's haircuts
Hold on,
now
hold on.
versus my haircut when I was 8. Me, suddenly gaining self-consciousness at my 4th birthday party. Childhood secret
Childhood secret weapon. Yeah, I remember I would lose a lot of pens by simply doing this. What? We were bored. No cell phones, no internet. It was up to us to entertain ourselves.
weapon. 5-year-old me putting a ball inside my clothes. Next thing I knew, I was pregnant. A nice rock I just found on the beach. 5-year-old me. These are stronger than most relationships these
Yes,
days.
they were.
7-year-old me in the supermarket whenever I see a surveillance camera.
We didn't have surveillance cameras back then.
Opens a pack of chewing gum. The entire school.
class.
You knew it was going to be a good movie when you seen this. 90s
Yes, it was.
kids
Hold on.
me in the supermarket whenever I see a surveillance camera. Opens a pack of chewing gum. The entire school. You knew it was
When we had field trips, right? Most buses here at home usually has a TV with it. And I remember it was a Betamax or a VHS tape thingy. And here's the thing, right? They would hire private bus companies, and they would have these movies on their buses. Basically, it was a large, somewhat a big TV, and the conductor or the bus driver would simply put in a tape to entertain us, so it would keep the kids calm or entertain us. But here's the thing: I remember watching Starship Troopers, and I remember the awkwardness. Because of course the teachers couldn't check what film they were showing us. The bus driver or the bus conductor simply put the tape in offhandedly. But I remember the awkward moment when there was this nude shower scene and we were all just, hmm. Wait, what year was that? It was the 90s. Starship Troopers. That they were showing us a nude scene. There was this awkward silence.
It's going to be a good movie when you've seen this. 90s kids know. It's true, as a thousands kid, I don't know what bleeding or hoses are. All I know is pronouns and phone.
Yep, hold on.
It was going to be a good movie when you've seen this. 90s kids know.
Alright, I don't know what this is. This thing, oh yeah, this is probably a health book. This is the closest thing we got to porn. It wasn't until the early 2Ks that we managed to get access to porn through pirated DVDs. So it was health. This is probably a health book, showing us a nude photo about the reproductive system, hoses, these things, and of course, the lights turning on the street means it's time to go home.
It's true, as a thousands kid, I don't know what bleeding
You had to
or
blur it
hoses
out.
are. All I know is pronouns and phone. 8-year-old me in the front of the mirror, trying to catch my reflection off guard. Bro, what the hell is this? I knew the car I drew in kindergarten was real. 10-year-old me, after using my fingers to put on my shoes. Remember those days when you missed school and you would check the time and think, they're eating right now. Doing this without any reason.
Bored. We were bored. We all did that without any reason because we were bored.
When I was younger and was in the shower and this happened, I thought I was a full-blown waterbender or Aquaman. Honestly, I'm getting tired of everyone having the same childhood experiences as me. If you don't know who this is, you did not have a childhood.
No internet.
She was the Thanos of
Of our childhood. Matilda.
childhood. 5-year-old me, seeing the moon during the day. 7-year-old
Bit weird though, because you've been taught all your life that the moon only shows up at night when it's dark.
me, realizing
Mind-blowing stuff right here.
Mum's name isn't Mum. Just found the cutest bottle ever. This brings back so many memories. 9-year-old me, scared something happened to my mom because she
Here's the thing. So imagine no cell phones, no form of communications, right? It felt as if we all just went outside the house and then we'd show up and then we'd come back home from work and school and expect everyone to be there. It was wild. You had no idea what was going on with everyone else in your family. You just hope and you just expect that everyone would be back by dinner time. I remember when I used to go to the mall with my family, no cell phones, right? All right, let's all check the clock. My dad would do this. Let's all check the clock and be back here by 1:30, and then we would scatter. And we'd make sure we'd be back at this particular point and place and time by 1:30. That's how we used to do it.
isn't back from the market yet. The real ones know what's up with these. I was
What is that? I don't know what that is.
always scared to drink out of this straw because I was afraid someone didn't wash it good enough.
Exactly. Wait, I think I remember this one now. It's like a bowl. It's a bowl with a straw attached to it. I've only seen a couple of times, but I've always remembered. I wonder how they clean that. Because my job, here's the thing, right? I like cooking, but the problem with cooking is that who's going to clean or wash the dishes afterwards? I avoid cooking for the simple reason that I know for a fact that if I cook, I'm gonna have to clean it up myself.
Whenever I walk by a tree, I was today years old when I realized the Vans logo is the square root of the answer. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. There is always that one innocent spoon in every home that you just dislike for no
we
reason.
still do.
Why do I understand this? If you did not drink milk out of a bag in grade school, you are too young for me. Am I the only
Probably.
one who drank out of a small carton like a normal
It's a
child?
carton
I
thing.
got the squad on speed dial, parts of a playground versus what they felt like. 90s hoverboards. Gym class used to be lit whenever the
Nope, I don't think we had these things.
teacher pulled out these. If you recognize this image, you are qualified for
This was one of the earliest, if I remember correctly. This is like the feed the alligator game. Back in the mid 2Ks or the late 2Ks, somewhere around 2009, 2010.
For a veteran's discount. Who else used to make these? All I can hear is, can you start this for me? Y'all
I don't remember that one. This one I do remember.
or peel these. I thought using your front teeth was the only option. What kids have these days versus what we had. You already know what season it is. These
This is what they used to give to kids when they were sick. And then they'd stay on the couch watching TV all day. Will wait for it to melt a little bit and suck on it for the entire afternoon or something.
things smack in the summer. 8-year-old me pretending to smoke when it's cold outside. When mom lets you keep the change.
Yeah.
6-year-old me trying to invent a new color. Wait here, I will be back. This is traumatizing. 7-year-old me standing up in the bath after holding my breath underwater for 22
I'm trying to remember what I was imagining myself to be like after holding my breath underwater for like 22 seconds.
seconds. This floor tile exists. How my 5-year-old brain saw this. 8-year-old. Oops, my bad. How it looked versus how it felt. The 4 horsemen of childhood memories. You are 10 years old and just unlocked the ability to become a turtle.
I remember writing these things.
Going down this boy. How it looked versus how it felt. Admit it. You have all done these things in childhood. Using
we
your
did.
ruler as a sword. Trying to balance a switch between up and down. Using your bed as a trampoline. Closing the
I remember my parents having a water bed. I remember giving myself a concussion thanks to that water bed.
refrigerator. I'll need to see the light turning off. 6-year-old
Nah, I discovered the button way too early. That
Using your-
if you close, there used to be like a small button beside right somewhere in the door right here. So when you close it, it would automatically turn the light off.
ruler as a sword. Trying to balance a switch between up and down. Using your bed as a trampoline. Closing the refrigerator. I'll need to see the light turning off. 6-year-old me at 2 a.m. debating if I should hold my piss in till the morning. Or run down the hall and risk an attack from a demon. 12-year-old me at the toys section. Knowing full well I'm never getting any of it. Y'all remember
Exactly.
these. You just opened.
Hold up.
Never get
We all had this moment. Why do you think millennials are into toy collecting or have the biggest collections? Toy collections. I honestly couldn't tell if it was due to poverty or if it was for the simple fact that our parents didn't think we deserved it. I had toys as a kid, but I knew that there were more expensive toys or there were even better toys, but I only got like the cheaper ones or the mid ones.
getting any of it. Y'all remember these. You just opened a deep memory
Nah, this must be way after my time.
that I thought didn't exist. Describe a perfect day.
Nope,
7-year-old
way
me.
after.
What did
Not all schools are built the same.
adults see versus what kids see.
Yep.
6th grade me coming home and opening my first generation
Oh yeah. It was cut the rope. That alligator we saw earlier that was cut the rope. I remember most of these things. I don't remember Doodle Jump.
iPod Touch. If you didn't learn math on this, you are too young
Nope. Way after my
for me.
time.
I must be getting old as hell, because what is this? 6-year-old me digging in the sandbox to reach the center of the earth. There's not
We had a sandbox, but they didn't take care of it properly. They had construction sand in it, so we couldn't dig it. We couldn't dig. I remember having a sandbox when I was in kindergarten, but the problem is they used regular construction sand, and every time it rained, it hardened. It hardened to a point that no one could actually dig through it.
one unique experience in this video. I still think you gotta be
Oh.
on some voodoo stuff.
I was already in college when these things came out. I know that for a fact because my friend won one off of a raffle, and this was his iPod thingy.
To work with one of these. Play, pause, volume up, down, next back. What's hard to understand about these
Yeah, there were blinking lights that you had to memorize to know that if it was a thing.
controls? Burn the witch. The 4 horsemen of a 5-year-old's dream job.
Yes, it
when mom
was.
says she will be back soon, but the cashier starts scanning the items. Me as a kid, when I had to throw away the cool stick I found. These smelled so bad, and were probably
I don't know what these. Oh yeah, these things were used to separate teams in PE.
washed once a year.
Who had time for it? We knew art class was going to be lit for that day. What they would do, or what teachers would do is they would give a candle to each table, and we would burn crayons and drip the wax on the. I guess for a 5-year-old, it was the best thing. We got to play with fire and we made art. We burned crayons and dripped the wax on paper.
These, I can still smell them. You haven't known real fear until you've tried to use
I don't know what these things are.
one of these. I need all of my public school peeps to help me out. Did anyone else have to play a recorder in elementary school? Specifically, hot cross buns. This
What?
is real, I swear.
I don't
you
remember
stop to
that
look
one.
at the new Lego sets for 20 seconds, and then your mum disappears. When your ball gets stuck under the car. Retweet if these had a positive impact on your childhood. You could have traded this in for someone's whole lunch. Flashback to when you were a kid and your parents took you to a random event. Let's see what's upstairs. Upstairs. 8-year-olds when they reach the top of this. Stick exists. Kids. Me, smelling a scent carried by the breeze that takes me back to the happiest days of my childhood, only to be blown away in an instant. Jumping off a single step. 4-year-olds saying, look what I can do. My parents. Me being ill as a kid, 2 minutes after parents left home. 9-year-old me running to give my dad his phone because Dave work boss is calling. When you and your friend are at your neighbor's door because you kicked your ball over the fence. 5-year-old
Yes,
me
please give us
coming
our
to
ball
terms with my
back.
new life.
Problem was the roof, right? When the ball goes to the roof, you knew it was the end of it. Unless, of course, you have a pretty cool neighbor that's actually willing to go up his own roof to bring back your ball, to retrieve your ball. But more often than not, if the ball goes to the roof, it's gone forever.
Life as a nomad after I cannot find my mum at the store. And what sounds would you hear in the garage? Where's my fucking socket? Don't touch a motherfucking thing. Screw this car. Imaginary monster. A cool stick that I found. 10-year-old me. Kids these days will never know the hardships of each week having to overcook.
Alright,
fresh,
this is a
hard-boiled
joke, but the problem with the whole mouse ball thing was cleaning. I mean, that's why laser mouse thingies are a godsend, because you'd be forced to clean this almost every other day. The sides of these things would be caked with dirt and your mouse would stop working properly.
Egg yolk for the
It would be
computer
drifting.
mouse. Seeing Buster getting old hit me right in
Aw.
the childhood feels. Kickballs that have been stuck in the middle school gym ceiling since
2011.
2011. This was all you needed for a birthday party back in my day. Did you knock on
Yes, it
people's
was.
doors as a kid and run away before they had a chance to answer? If so, this could be the job for you. Some of y'all didn't grow up with an older brother who would WWE choke
I had a younger brother and we definitely tried those WWE moves at home.
slam you onto your couch because he felt like it, and it shows. Why commit murder when you can have one of these?
We never had any of these things.
Come on, guys. I'd kill for one of those. I think you're missing the point. Let me just karate chop your ankles real
Ah, I remember having these things. Ah,
quick.
it was actually quite fun.
One of the best games of my childhood. Childhood, a time of adventure and wonder. I just heard 2 kids playing outside, and one goes, I do not fear the dark side. Then the other kid goes, you should. And then I just hear a whack noise and crying. That is the sound of childhood happening. I might need to have a talk with my daughter, but I'm not even sure what I would say. Where's the ocean? 6-year-old me in front of the TV. I've had this container since I was a kid, and it gets more
Yes, it is.
depressing as I get older. Dinosaurs, markers, medicine. As a child, I had the
We never threw it out because it was made from plastic, and I think I still have it right now. And I think I had Pokemon cards in it.
impression that I would be offered free drugs by strangers. Much
That school was under the DARE program. We had police officers come in to talk. But why, for the love of God? I guess it's the whole US war on drugs thing. So so they made sure everyone knows about the evils of drugs.
much more frequently than the 0 times it's happened. How schools expect us to stop bullying. You're bothering me. Please stop. Understandable. Have a great day. Yeah, breaking up is sad, but have you ever given away your childhood Lego collection? Online friendships are wild because you learn every detail of their childhood traumatic experiences and ensuing lifelong mental illness in the first week, and then 3 years later, you're like, wait, you have a dog? Kids today are missing out on the pre-streaming era, where your childhood was at least partially defined by some semi-obscure movie your family just happened to own
have.
on tape, and you watched several dozen times.
Because we didn't have anything else, right? I mean, you were bored in the middle of the day. It was probably summer. It was too hot to go outside. Or there was probably a storm outside. So you were forced to basically watch this tape that your mom and dad has. And that was it. I think it was Ronnie Dangerfield. I'm gonna have to look up inside the house just to check what it is or what it
times.
was.
Kids these days will never know the
Yep, they never knew the struggle. Most of the time, this thing would crash.
struggle. Estimated time left, 39 years. Like this, if you still have
Yeah.
a beanie baby, stuffed animal that you had since you were little. One taught me love, one taught me patience, one taught me pain. Teacher, nobody going to lunch until everyone's quiet. 4th grade me. Everyone shut the fuck up. Ah yes, the stages of life. Child, pain, sleep. When you have no life experiences or achievements. Alex, former child, bringing back weird memories from elementary school. 8 years old now.
I remember getting framed for vandalism while doing this. I was brought into the principal's office and I told him, because there was a lot of writing on the wall, and I remember there was this big kid. You have to come with me. What? Why? Because apparently he thought I was writing on the wall, and I simply had my finger on the wall while I was walking back to class. I didn't get into trouble. Some big kid just literally brought me to the office because he thought I was vandalizing on the walls. I still remember that for some reason.
8 years old nowadays have an iPhone 7 or X, but when I was 8, I had this. Whoever had a PSP when they were 8 were just as spoiled. I had a PSP.
Yeah, they're
I
probably
can
for
smell
rich
this
kids.
picture. We all tried to push down every color at once.
That
my
we
brain,
did.
do it. Why? Just do it. Okay.
Why?
The
No
boys
reason.
waiting outside to see if my mom says yes to them coming in.
No, usually we'd all go out. The boys waiting on me so they could ask my mom if they would let me go out.
The ancestors of today's bath bombs, bath
beads.
beads, the throne of a chief, the throne of a king, the throne of a god. 7-year-old me in the car, wondering why the moon has been following us. 6-year-old me waiting to die after I accidentally swallowed a little bit of toothpaste. The worst parts of my
It wasn't. Wait, hold
why
on.
the moon has been following us. 6-year-old me
It wasn't until recently, like, I saw this video that toothpaste is meant to be edible, because I remember there's this video made by this astronaut, like how they brush their teeth in space. Alright, so what now? So he brushed his teeth. Alright, so what do I do now with all this toothpaste? And then he would swallow it, and you see, you swallow it. What else were you supposed to do with it?
waiting to die after I accidentally swallowed a little bit of toothpaste. The worst parts of my childhood. 2nd grade me walking into the scholastic
I remember, hold on.
grade me walking into the school.
Hold up.
6-year-old me waiting to
Hold
die
up.
after I
Hold
accidentally
up.
swallowed a little bit of toothpaste. The worst part.
Alright. Played all except the whole Mario Kart thing, but I remember as a kid, I've associated Monopoly with fighting. I remember every time someone puts out a Monopoly board, I would walk away. Because the following day, I would definitely hear about the fight happening afterwards because they played Monopoly. Every time someone puts out a Monopoly board, I'd walk away. Because the following day or that afternoon, after a couple of hours later, hey dude, did you hear? There was another fight. Why? Guys played with Monopoly and took it too seriously. So Monopoly means fight.
Parts of my childhood. 2nd grade me walking into the scholastic book fair.
I did remember this. I remember getting the horror books, the horror classic
With
books.
$7 when the same actor is live on 2 different TV channels. 6-year-old me. Yeah, you're old, but are you this old? When
I don't wait. These band things they existed, but I was never into it.
you find out your parents' names aren't actually mom and dad, how many other
Mind-blowing.
lies have I
Like when you find out grandpa and grandma have other names. I think I was already in college when I found out what my grandfather's name was.
been told by the council? Who else had a stage in their cafeteria? I'm this old. If you remember this game, you're a legend. But are you this old? It's all fun and games until you lose
Yes, it is, and then it's broken forever. You're done with.
one piece.
And it wouldn't last the entire day. You get it, like your mom would get one for you in the weekend, and this thing right here, if you push down a little bit too hard, or if you're a little bit too heavy-handed, the lead would get inside and there's no way for you to fix it. And then I remember if you lose one, it's game over. It's over. Because it wouldn't last a day.
Some of you never got smacked in the face with one of these when you were younger, and it really shows. I went to PE one time with a stuffy nose, got hit one time, and it cleared all my sinuses. 10-year-old me, after losing my toys. Canadian eatery puts tiny chairs around the little table that comes inside pizza boxes. My childhood dream has come true. Rare photo of a remote control from the 70s. What do you do with this?
That was me in the 90s for my parents.
A. Pretend it's a lightsaber. B. Bonk it on someone's head. C. Try to fold it. D. Remove the top layer.
All of the above.
Dad bought you candy, and now he wants his dad tags. My 4-year-old just said, Dad, why do people make up things that their children have said for social media? Isn't it just inherently dishonest and indicative of an inability to construct a compelling narrative for themselves? What we did as kids
I have no idea why people do that.
versus what we imagined when it was time to watch a movie.
Wait, we were lore building.
What we did as kids.
We were lore building. We were world building. We made stories of our own. Our imagination was the limit with these Legos.
Versus what we
Even though we had the wrong color.
imagined when it was time to watch a movie in school. Out hiking today and came across this ancient civilization. Anybody know what era
Aww.
it's from? To give these bad boys out, giving the dirtiest one to the person you did not like. 6-year-old me. After all, why not? When I was a kid, every time I went to the bathroom, I was
These things happened during the Ring era, during The Grudge, when the film The Ring or The Grudge came out. A lot of people couldn't shower properly because of that one scene where the protag was showering and she felt a third pair of hands on her head.
paranoid, like me when I was 10, pretending to be dead in the pool to see if anyone would care. 8-year-old me when my mom made me ring people to thank them for my birthday presents.
There was no way to do that because no cell phones yet.
I feel sorry for Netflix era kids. They will
Or wait, no. Hold on.
8-year-old me.
We never had to do this because we were stuck to landlines and not everyone had landlines or not everyone knew each other's number. We actually had to use a phone book and hope and pray. And when we were going to call someone on a phone book, we hoped and prayed that we were actually calling the right person.
When my mom made me ring people
Shit
to
was
thank
wild.
them for my birthday presents. I feel sorry for Netflix era kids. They will never know the high stakes adrenaline of running to the bathroom, fridge, bedroom in a single ad break with the beckoning call of a sibling screaming, "It's
gone!"
on!" to send you hurtling over
Had friends
the
do that
furniture
for me?
get back in time. In the 90s, you could say, "Excuse me," instead of "excuse me," and get a laugh. It was wild.
Yes, it
what
was.
5-year-olds today have. What I had when I was 5. I had the sudden and shocking realization this morning that some people have never heard the "Oh, where's my hairbrush" song and don't automatically sing it in their heads when they're looking for something.
This was
Why
way
is there
after
a
my-
cucumber
this was after my
in the
time.
shower? Because he took a shower and he now needs to find his hairbrush. Obviously. In 1992, I was 12. My dad and I were in the airport. I saw Joe Pesci and I recognized him from Home Alone. I went up to him to ask for his autograph. Joe asked me who my favorite actor was. I said he was. He handed me a crisp $100 and said, "That's the right answer, kid." Scars remind us the past is real. No more snow days. School district replaces wintry days off with online classes. We got out of school at the right time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we did.
We are all forgetting the real forbidden snag. I cannot believe that this post clocked me. I never would have remembered biting down into the seam of these things, often splitting them in two near perfect halves. The texture was bad, the taste was bad,
It was
and yet
probably
I
plastic.
chomped. When I was younger, I just wanted the Crayola 64
Oh, this was a symbol of wealth when I was a kid.
pack with the built-in sharpener, practically pooping yourself with excitement when you walked
We didn't have these, but I could just imagine how it went.
into the PE hall and saw that the apparatus was out. Today's kids will never know how we were the original GPS right from the passenger side, and you better had read fast and correct. Print me the MapQuest directions before
Oh, okay. MapQuest was definitely after my time. And I remember my parents navigating using actual maps. Thank you for watching, guys. Now you all know the drill. Please like, share, subscribe, and do the whole notification button thing. It would really help me out with the algo. Now, if you want me to check out other stories, please let me know in the comments. We upload on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, and we go live on Twitch every Friday and Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. Links of the original videos are down in the description. Please check them out. And class dismissed.